Hello class, welcome to lesson 9 of unit 4 on dividing fractions. Okay, so for this lesson we have some pictures of water containers, okay, and some things to notice on the containers. If you look at the first container here, you can see that they have amounts of water here measured out, liters and milliliters, they show you here. They take this container and they pour it into this green dispenser. Okay, and in this green dispenser, you can see they've marked off sections here. This is the little marks right here. You want to be aware of those. Okay, so after looking at these pictures, Lynn says, I see the fraction 2/5. Jada says, I see the fraction 3/4. What quantities are Lynn and Jada referring to? Well, okay, if you look first with Lynn, you should notice on this green dispenser here that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. Okay, they measured these off and we have 5 equal sections here, and you can see that the water goes up and fills up to 2. All right, so that's what they mean by 2/5. They're talking about this green dispenser here. Jada says that she sees the fraction 3/4. Well, if you look at the container here, you can see the water level, it goes up to 3/4. There's 3/4 right there. It's 3/4 of a liter. All right, so they both are seeing things accurately. It's just that Lynn is talking about the green dispenser and Jade is talking about this container here. So the question then becomes, how many liters of water fit in the water dispenser? Well, you can see here what we started with here was actually less than a liter. So when we poured this amount into the dispenser, we had less than a liter in there, right? But when you look at what got into the dispenser, we were nowhere near having it filled up, right? We're less than half of the way of having it filled up. So we want to figure out exactly how much we're going to need in order to fill this dispenser up. So as a way to figure out how that's going to work, they let us know to write a multiplication equation and a division equation for the question. If you'd like to draw a diagram, you can. We are trying to move to where diagrams, we use those only if we're having a really hard time understanding what's happening. But if you understand what's happening, it'll be a little bit quicker to just write an equation and solve the equation. Okay, so let's get right to that. If you look at this, we're trying to fill up the dispenser, right? And so far right now we have 2/5 of that dispenser filled up. Okay, we need to take 2/5 and we need to get more of those, right? We need to add 2/5 over and over again, or we could say multiply it by some unknown amount to be able to fill this up, right? We want to know how much it's going to take to fill it up. So for a multiplication equation, we're going to take the 2/5 and we're going to multiply it times an unknown. And that unknown is going to be 3/4 of a liter. Okay, you could also switch this around. You could say an unknown times 2/5 equals 3/4. Okay, for our division equation, we could think about the 3/4 of a liter here, and it's going to be divided up into sections that are 2/5 of the container, right? Not 2/4, 2/5 equals, and then that's going to give us some amount, right? It'll give us some amount. We're going to need some portion of these here. And so that's what we're working with here. So if we want to go ahead and just work through the problem here, I think that probably your best bet is going to be just using the tools that we've given you as far as knowing how to divide fractions. So this is 3/4 divided by 2/5. Let me write it in a way that is maybe going to be a little bit more comfortable to be able to see. We'll write the fraction with the numerator on top and the denominator on the bottom. And so 3/4 divided by 2/5. Okay, so 3/4 divided by 2/5. Hopefully you remember that when we divide by a fraction, that is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So this is really the same thing as 3/4 times 5/2, or 5/2. Okay, that's the rule. So then we take that and we see what we get. So 3 times 5, that's 15, over 4 times 2, and that is 8. Okay, so 15 over 8. We can also take this fraction, known sometimes as an improper fraction, and we can make it into a mixed number. We can see how many 8s go into 15, and it is going to be 1 8 goes into 15, but then we would have a remainder of 7 out of 8. So 1 7/8 would be the number of liters that you need. So if you look at that here, that should make sense, because if you think about it, we knew that this part here, 3/4 of a liter, wasn't even half. So we would need to add in some more here to get 1 full liter. But then after we added this part in for 1 full liter, we still wouldn't be able to fill this container up. We would still need to add in more. And so that more, it comes out officially to 7/8 of a liter. So almost 2 liters would be needed to fill up this dispenser.